All right, all right, all right. How's everybody doing? Thank you for tuning in. Quite naturally, I'm doing everything myself, trying to make it work. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's your boy, the Prophet B. Kush. Prophet B. Kush. Kush standing for Kush Manish, meaning person with a good heart. That's all. Nothing extraordinary about it. Just a person with a good heart. That's what some people told me. So I ran with it. All right. Spirit let me feel good about it. Thank you. If you like, press like. If you want to subscribe and be a part of, what we're doing, great. And if you're just dropping in just one time, I appreciate it. Stop by again. Today's show is simple. It's do you see God? Do you see God? And it's a simple question, but it's the biggest question in the universe. Some people may say to you, first you must believe that there is a God. And that's true in order for you to see the different things that you may need to see for yourself. That's not a bad thing. But I want to drop to you a little tidbit. Whether you see him or believe him for yourself, he is still there, the creator of all things, the greater to rule the day, the lesser light to rule the night. We're talking about the sun and the moon. I want you to know that God, the creator of all things, is in everything. It's not by happenstance. It's not by some big boom that everything is so in sync in life, right? That the times on different planets, on different continents can coincide to give life, to take life. And I want you to, for yourself, just think about the journey that you've been on in this lifetime for yourself. Do you see God? I was speaking with someone and they were talking about, going to church and they wanted to be there the next Sunday, and they had spoke with their pastor, and their pastor was preaching at a time and told them, well, if you're here, great. And if you're not, pray at home and this, that, and the third. And I thought that was beautiful for the pastor to tell his congregation that, because things get crazy when people feel like they have to make the people do something. Things get crazy when the people feel like they're not living up to what other people are asking them to do. So I said to myself, as I was talking with the individual, I said, well, God is in everything. And if you're at home praying with him, he's there. If you're in church, he's there. If you're on the sidewalk, he's there. There's some scriptures that say stuff like, if you made your bed in hell, I will be there with you as well. And you can find that in the 66 books encompass the Bible. But the reality is, do you see God? Do you see God in your triumphs? Do you see God in your failures? Do you see God in your good times? Do you see him or it in your great times, in your happy times? And so you look around, right? And you think about life. You think about the dirt on the floor. You think about the things that are made by man. You think about stuff that you can't explain or just imagine all day in your mind. And do you see God in any of it, right? And so when you see the birth of a new baby, there's a great feeling, right? And everybody's all joyous, and they pretty much feel like they feel, that they're seeing God at this point, because the baby is so beautiful, so innocent, and it's a new life, right? No batteries in it, no nothing to make it work. It works on its own. And for however much time that baby has on this earth, the baby is its own individual. Do you see God in that? Do you see God when you look at flowers, beautiful things? Do you see him in the creation of that? Do you take time to pause and go, wow, that's beautiful? Now, I know some people do. They look and they go, wow, God is magnificent that he made these flowers and he made these roses and he made this bed of grass. But do you see him also if you're watching a movie, right? And the movie is captivating your heart and it's hitting all the right notes. Do you see God in that? Do you see God, in a great story that a neighbor might have just told you because the fire department or somebody just saved somebody's life, and it sounds so good to hear that someone's life was saved? Do you see God then? Do you see God when you walk into the court system and they said all the things that they said to you and threatened you with time and threatened you with all types of things, and try to throw you away and put you in jail for enormous amounts of time, and it didn't happen? Did you see God then? Did you see God when you did the time and you didn't do the crime, but they put it on you? Because my skin color deal with a lot of that. And one day you get set free. Do you see God then? I'm asking these questions because in simplicity, if you can see God in your everyday, right? If you can see God in just getting up and breathing, the biggest miracle I always tell people is the first miracle, which is you woke up. Do you see God in you waking up? Do you see God in knowing that you ate today? Do you see God knowing that you had a job to go to? Do you see God knowing that you didn't have a job to go to, but you still ate today? Do you see God knowing that it's cold outside and I get to put on a sweater? I get to put on a jacket. It's snowing, I get to put on boots. It's raining, I get to hold an umbrella. Do you see God in your everyday? Because this is where it matters the most. If you can see God in your everyday, whoa, excuse me, it's a little bit crazy over here right now. I'm still off with my hips. Had both hips replaced this year. Um, do you see God? Do you see Him? Do you stand still and just know that there is a God? There's a creator of all these things. There's planes in the air. There's cars driving. There's dogs barking. And don't get me wrong. There's evil. There is. There's people who do bad things. There are bad things that have been done to people. There are bad things that will be done to people in the future. But can you take a moment and know that the same God that gave you all the good things that you saw allowed that to be so that you could know the difference between His grace and mercy and what He's kept you from? Hello, somebody. This conversation that we're having today is simple. I just want to remind people that you need to see God. You look at your hands, look in the mirror, look at your face. You know, it's not enough to just say, if I'm in church, I see God. If I'm in church and we praising Him and we getting it on, that's beautiful. But beyond that, do you see God? Is it that you just see God on your Sunday? Is it that you just see God on your Sabbath? And to all those that pray morning, noon, and night, do they only see God when they're praying morning, noon, and night? Because sometimes it's easy to wonder that they're praying morning, noon, and night, and they get up and they live their lives however they live them. Same with people who go to service on the Sabbath, but then when they leave, they live their life how they live them. Those who go to church on Sunday, but when they leave, they live their life how they living. And so I'm not speaking of one genre better than the other. We all have our mishaps. We all have our missteps. We all have our things that keep us human. They said to err is human, right? To folly, to mess up, to have a mistake is human. So do we still see God in these moments that instead of all the messed up things that can happen, you were taught a lesson that you can share with someone else that they cannot take on the stuff that will mess up their life because you shared the lesson that you were taught and that you learned through life. So I just say this simple, do you see God? Because He's here. He's in everything. I mean, the word of God, it tells you, the earth and the fullness thereof belongs to me. He said, I made vessels to honor me, vessels to dishonor me. All these things is in the book. You have to study. So I always encourage people to go to a good Bible studying the I don't know what to call it sometimes, but you know, go to a Bible study school. Simple. I don't want to be collegiate on you. Just go to a Bible study school. You know, take up the theology, study how to study to learn and understand the different things that make you being able to enjoy that God wrote about all these things that we're experiencing. And when you share them with somebody, you can share your experience with them to help them. not just be speaking to be speaking. A lot of people do that, which turn people off from Christians, turn people off from Muslims. Everybody's just talking. But how are you day to day? Are you showing God in your day to day movement? When you walk away from people, do they see God? When you're standing there talking with them, do they see God? When you approach them, do they see God? Simple. So when I ask you, do you see God? Do you see him in everything around you that gives you evidence that there's a creator? But yet, do you see him in yourself? That he's forgiven you for not being the best you, that he's forgiven you for being too hard on you, that he blessed you beyond measure. Because for every time I was upset and wanted to complain, God in my everyday showed me, oh, you better shut up. You ain't got nothing to complain about. And it's a reality. What do you really have to complain about? We can talk, we can eat, we can sleep. And thank God there's a lot of us who do have shelter. There's people who just don't have shelter for whatever reason. Bottom line, they don't have it. Some of us can just go in the refrigerator and eat. For whatever reason, this person can't go in the refrigerator and eat. And you have to keep that in mind. You have to keep that in mind because the birds, the little squirrels that's running around and all the other migrants that roam the earth don't have a clock, don't have a job, but they exist. They live and they eat and they feed and they give birth. And so you having the choice to eat, to feed, to nurture, to work, to help somebody other than yourself. Whoa, that's big. Do you see God? And I'm just throwing this out there, asking these questions because it's going to be the simplest phrase in the simplest terms that's going to help somebody get through their day to see that it's not that bad. Glory be to God. It may be rough, but it's not that bad because in its roughness, you're becoming the best you can be. So do you see God? Again, do you see his mercy? Do you see his grace and what he's doing for you, what he's done to you? Because there's still mercy and grace. There's to be and there's not to be. The fact that we came to this earth, we had a chance to experience this earth, glory be to God, that is a miracle. They told you the numbers of sperm cells that shoot up through a woman's canal to make one egg come to life and spawn a human. From the conception, it's big. So for you to even make it to that part, not even talking about the 9 months that come after and the rest of your life that comes, do you see God? Do you see God that you're blessed? Do you see God that you are living a life that could be 1,000 times worse in any which way you consider? And there's a lot of us that are just not here, that didn't even get the chance, didn't even get to say if they see God, didn't even get to say sorry, didn't even get to say hello, didn't even get to say, are you hiring? Can I come, fill out the application? Didn't even get to say, wow, that's hot water. Didn't even, just if you could do these things, right? And then the fact that you have a phone or you have a TV and you're looking at this communication device, that means you're blessed because somebody ain't got a phone somewhere. Or somebody's got a phone, but they ain't got internet. Like I could just keep going that I need you to see God for yourself. Then go to church. But if you go to church first, or if you go to the worship house, or you go to the mosque, right? Whichever way you do it, and you get a chance to learn to pray and learn to study with the people that you're studying with. When you walk away, let me know if you see God. Ooh, I like that. I do because it's simple. I just want my people to see God, his majesty, the greatest sun to rule the day, the lesser sun to rule the night, which gives us life, the water in the seas, the air that we breathe. Do you see God? For yourself. Come on, flip that switch. Wake up. It's your boy, the Prophet B. Kush. I love you. I just want you to feel it. That's how I felt today. I need to know if my people see God. And when I say my people, I mean the people of the earth. Those that can hear, hear. Those that can't, can't. It's all right. But those that can hear, do you see God? Come on, somebody. If you like it, like, press subscribe. I appreciate you. I did this in the sun. I was underneath here, but then I wanted the sun to hit me because there's some days the sun don't come out. And so I'm grateful that I'm here and the sun is out. So I stood in the sun today. I'm going to do it the way we always do it, letting our boy Matthew, who wrote down what his main man Jesus said. He said, in Matthew 6, he said, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Amen. Yeah, I get hot. I get real hype. The Colgate smile comes out because I love life and I love that we have a chance at living. So God bless you. Do what you do. Don't let it do you. It's your boy, the Prophet B. Kush. Press like, subscribe. We're going to just keep coming at you. That's what we're going to do. All right. Enjoy your day. Get out in the sun.